Maps are supposed to tell us where we've been, but what if some of them show us something else? Something we're not supposed to remember? No one knows where these maps came from, but one thing is clear: they shouldn't exist. In 1513, an Ottoman admiral named Piri Reis created one of the most mysterious maps in human history. It was drawn on gazelle skin, and it wasn't based on exploration, at least not his own. It was copied. According to notes written on the map itself, Piri Reis compiled it from even older source maps. Some came from Portuguese explorers, others, he claimed, were copies of ancient Greek charts, possibly even dating back to the time of Alexander the Great. One source was said to be a map captured from Christopher Columbus, containing knowledge Columbus never publicly shared. But those maps, they're gone, lost to history. But what he managed to recreate was impossible. The map shows the western coast of Africa, the eastern coast of South America, both charted with surprising accuracy. But what shocked researchers most wasn't what was known, it was what shouldn't have been. At the bottom of the map is a landmass, detailed, curved, with rivers, mountains, and a rocky coastline. That land matches the exact contours of Antarctica, as it appears beneath thousands of feet of ice. Antarctica wasn't officially discovered until 1820, and even then, it was already locked under glaciers. But modern seismic and radar scans from the 20th century revealed the actual shape of the land beneath the ice, and somehow, the Piri Reis Map already had it. How could anyone in the 1500s or before have known what lay under a frozen continent? Some scholars try to dismiss it. They say it's just South America, drawn too far south, with a distorted scale. And yes, the Andes Mountains do extend into southern South America, but on the Piri Reis Map, the elevation isn't on the western edge, it runs through the middle. The shape doesn't match, the orientation doesn't match, and the coastline doesn't extend outward like South America, it curves inwards, just like Queen Maud Land in East Antarctica. Even more unsettling, the map shows mountain ranges and river systems that align with what modern radar imaging found beneath the Antarctic ice. Features no one in 1513 or even 1813 should have known existed. So either Piri Reis was copying from a civilization that mapped Antarctica before it froze, or the history of human exploration is missing an entire chapter. Centuries before satellites or radar, someone mapped the true shape of Greenland, not the icy surface, but the land beneath it. The year was 1558. A map appeared in Venice, published by Niccolò Zeno, supposedly based on the lost travel logs of his ancestors. It covered parts of northern Europe, the North Atlantic, and Greenland. But something was off. Greenland wasn't drawn as a single massive island. It was divided, broken into several landmasses, split by narrow channels. To 16th century cartographers, it looked like a mistake, but to modern geologists, it looked disturbingly accurate. In the late 1900s, ground-penetrating radar revealed that beneath Greenland's ice sheet are massive fjords, deep basins, and mountain ridges. Geologically speaking, Greenland isn't one solid block. It's fractured, segmented, exactly like the Zeno Map showed. And it doesn't stop there. The map includes other oddities, like Friesland, a phantom island that appeared on many Renaissance maps, then disappeared from history. Skeptics argue that this is navigational errors, copy-paste mistakes from older charts. Some even believe the entire map is a 16th century forgery, meant to boost the prestige of the Zeno family. But here's the contradiction. If the map was fake, how did they get the hardest part, Greenland's subglacial layout, right? None of this should have been known in 1558. Not without aerial surveys, not without sonar, not without technology we didn't have for another 400 years. So was the Zeno Map a fraud with lucky guesses, or a fragment of something much older? One map showing Antarctica before it was covered in ice is strange. Two is something else entirely. In 1531, a French cartographer named Irenaeus Finaeus created a detailed map of the world's southern regions. At first glance, it looked like an early guess at the unknown, a common feature in maps at that time called Terra Australis Incognita, a speculative land drawn simply to balance a globe. But Finaeus' version didn't look speculative. It was labeled, structured, and mapped with mountain ranges, rivers, and coastal inlets. Modern researchers later noticed something chilling. The landmass he drew looked just like Antarctica, without ice. Not just the shape, the interior terrain. I get it, it sounds crazy. Another map showing ice-free Antarctica. But that's exactly what makes this one so strange. It wasn't just a vague outline, it was topographic. He also noticed something strange in his own commentary, that the map was compiled from much older source materials, passed down and pieced together from explorers, navigators, and possibly civilizations long forgotten. And that exact part sounds familiar. Just like the Piri Reis Map, we now have a second cartographer in a different country, working in a different century, who claims he was copying older maps that no longer exist. 2 maps, 2 different creators, same story. Now the mystery isn't just about what they drew, it's about where they got it from. Mainstream historians argue it's still just a lucky guess, that Finaeus copied errors from other maps or used artistic license. After all, he lived in a time when cartographers filled blank spaces with imagination. But there's a pattern forming. Piri Reis drew in Antarctica's coastline. Finaeus mapped its interior. Both men said they used older sources. Both maps predate the actual discovery of Antarctica by nearly 300 years. If 2 separate cartographers working from different maps in different countries drew the same impossible land, then what were their source maps really showing? 3 maps, 3 centuries, same impossible knowledge. Each map maker said the same thing, they were copying something older. So who made the originals? And how did they know what was under the ice? Maybe we didn't discover the world, maybe we're just remembering it. Thanks for watching Late Night Top 5. If you enjoyed this video, we love your support, so hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. What mysteries should we cover next? And if you're up for more late night chills, check out the next video.